Good evening, everyone. So, we are back with another session. Yesterday, we had an amazing session on cloud fundamentals. So, moving ahead, today we will be having a session on defending cloud fundamentals. For today's session, we have with us Mr. Tushar Verma. Tushar Verma, sir, has worked both in product development and operation teams, and has in-depth knowledge working with DevSecOps teams and their best practices. He has also have best expertise in application security and cloud security. Alongside that, he is currently working in Shadi.com and is an active member of a SINAC community. So, without further ado, I would just like to introduce and hand over the session to you, Tushar sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So let me share my screen first. Okay, okay. So yes, we can start. So as we all know, like the topic of this workshop is defending cloud infrastructure. So as we all know, day by day we are moving our infra to cloud. So in if you go on for that, then in cloud infrastructure we need to also have implemented the best practices. Just for example, let's suppose that if any data breach is happening, so we need to have the best practice implemented so that that data breach is not going to happen. So in this whole like talk, we will be seeing how we can like implement the best practices in the cloud sec. And apart from that, what are the problems we are facing in the in like if we want to implement cloud sec best practices, then what are the challenges which will be facing by any like MNC. So let's start. So now, before going on and like learning about the like ways and how we can implement things in cloud infra, let's first go on and like learn the first thing that what are the problem we are facing, like what are the main uh, challenges we are facing while securing cloud environment. So now the first one is multiple accounts in multiple regions across the globe. So now see, this is a very common problem. Let's say if any company is like having a worldwide customer, let's say Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, so they have like their infra spread over all over the global regions. And since there are multiple regions, and of course that multiple region will have the multiple employees working at the different infras and different and all. So be due to that, to maintain the IAM access and the policy review and all is like tough for anyone who is working cloud team. Now the second challenge is the multiple vendors or partners integration. So as we know, like third party integration is like important, because see, we can't do everything in house. Like for like hiring the associate team, the or like to do anything in house, we need to hire a like team, we need to pay for that. So like as a best practice, what we do as a MNCs, we go for the third party. Now when we are going for third party integration or third party vendor, then at that stage our access keys or some IAM account need to be given to them. And in that case, the like it's like a problem, because like anything happening in the third party vendor, then it will also breach our data. Now the third one is a complex workload. So of course there are so much thing to do in cloud, and due to that there are complex workload, and for that we need to like make a proper plan how we can like maintain the cloud environment. The fourth one is the large engineering team working away from the office. So after like COVID, or we can say when the COVID has arrived in India, so everyone was going for work from option. Until now we are seeing this work from home is like now booming everywhere. In like every company, they are going for work from culture. So in that case, what is happening, the large engineering team are like working away from the office. So to implement a plan, to make a plan, and how we can like implement things in our cloud infra, it's like more like it can be hard way, because everyone is like at home. So the planning and the meeting part is like hard for them. And the last one, and the you can say the most important one, is implementing security without blocking other team. So as we all know, like if we want to, like just give me, I'm giving an example of AppSec. So for like fixing any vulnerability, we need to think like about the business model also. So just implementing is not like important. We know we need to also see the business threat model, the costing and all. So this is also like we can say the main challenge which everyone is facing while if they want to defend their cloud infra. So now, as a cloud engineer, what are the things which we can do so that our cloud is like properly, you can say, any data breach is not happening there. So the first one is the cloud configuration review. So in the configuration review, if you go on and check on the internet, then we are having some CIS benchmarks. There are some documents and books are present for that. Or if you go on and see the AWS best practices, so in that case, we will see like there are all the checks given. So as a cloud engineer, like you're working in cloud operation or cloud sec team, you need to like go on and do a manual and automated check for all the best practices which are given in the CIS benchmark or in the AWS best practice. And since we are doing this, like we can do this for like on the monthly basis, on the quarterly basis, or on the yearly basis. It depends upon your cloud infra and how you are like working at that particular infra. So after doing the configuration review, if there's any loophole present and anything like which is not matching the best practice, then we can fix it. And that can be like the best thing which we can do as a cloud. If we are moving for the like helping the infra for like you can say implementing the best practices. Now the second thing which we can do is the architecture review. So if I say architecture review, so like see just for example, if you are making any application, it can be where we can Android. So we are making a proper architecture where a plan has been given. Or if you are building an apartment, okay, or a flat, then that in that also, or if your house, so a proper architecture is been like made for that. So when we are like building the cloud infra also, we need to also make a like a proper architecture and all. But that architecture need to be like checked, like okay, if there is any loophole present or it is following best practices or not. So a proper architecture review should be done for the upcoming assets and the assets which are already made, but we need to check it time to time, like okay, if any loophole is present or not. It can be like sometime what is happening, the inbound rules are like missing, or outbound rules are missing, the internet traffic can go inside. So we need to check everything like that. Now comes the third one, that is access review. So as we know, like for example, if I am working for a company and after like 1 year I want to like change that company. So after leaving the organization, the best practice say like you should remove that IAM user. But if there is not a proper check has been done, like the access thing and all, then in that case, what can happen? I'm like I have changed the company, but I can log in with that particular credential and I can try to do anything with that company account. So this is the first thing in access review. Or we can say if I am making any IAM rule, okay, IAM user I have made and attach the policy, and that policy is having so much of like permission given. So in that case, it can be like harmful, because if by any means that IAM user credits been like leaked, or if anyone can do social engineering that, then in that case what will happen, this the IAM user compromise the credential, and by that a hacker can go on and like do anything on our infra. Now then comes the fourth thing, that is maintenance compliance posture. So as we know, like GRC is now trending everywhere. So we need to maintain the compliance posture. And since like implementing GRC in the infra, it can also help us to like maintain like for anything, like if any incident happen in the infra, then we need like we have everything available. We are having a proper logging monitoring system. We have a proper plan like how we can go ahead for like any incident is happening in our infra. Then comes the SIM solution IDS firewall. So of course, the cloud comes with the inbuilt like firewall. If we can go and purchase that tool, that is AWS WAF. So that WAF has everything which we need to protect the cloud infrastructure. So we need to like go on and invest money on WAFs and ideas and all, and also buy any SIM solution. We can go for open source also, but if we have a like that, if we want to invest on more like infra like and thing like that, then we can buy a SIM solution from third party vendor. Now the last one is the shift left. So nowadays, what is happening? We are automating the CI/CD pipeline. So this shift left is like the new, you can say, the way where we can easily deploy the like any of our application in the CI/CD pipeline and automating the SAS, DAS, SCA, and ECS scanning and all. So these are some of the things which we can do so that our AWS infra is fully secure from the data breach. Okay, so now I have written this: to beat the attacker, you must think like an attacker. So now these are the things which we have like done from the you can say the mindset of a blue team. Basically, like what we can do so that the like we have the infra properly defended, but attacker will be finding some way, of course. So in that case, we need to also like think like an attacker, like how the attacker can get inside the infra, how, like the you can say expose things or the loopholes which are present in the AWS infra. So now before that, if you like you have must have seen this meme on internet. So basically what is happening, if you are going in a meeting room and like going on for like like you will seeing like the head of that company will be saying like, okay, there are so many of the data breaches happening and the from the cloud infrastructure, so what we can do. So basically, there are something which we can do, like we can go for a third party vendor. But yes, again, that third party vendor will be also coming with like if any compromise or any data which happen in that third party tool, then it can also be like affecting our cloud infra. Or they will be telling you to buy like go for CSPM, okay, or CASB or CWPP. So these are some like terms which they will be using, like CSPM we can go and buy. But the CloudSec posture management, like is of no use if we are not implementing the best practices. And when we are going for the implementing cloud best practices, cloud safe best practices basically, so in that case they will be like telling, okay, it will increase the cost. So if the base is not done like properly, then going on buying the like tools and all is of no use. So this is just a meme, and when you will saying like, okay, we can start with the implementing best practices for the cloud, say they will be like feeling, okay, we don't need that. We will be going for some tool and all, and they will be like happy scanning and finding threads and all. But the main thing is we need to implement the best practices for it. So now, now let's see if we go for the attacker way. So before that, we need to also know how enterprises have got breached in the past, because you need to defend your cloud infrastructure. So you need to also know in past how the attacker has tried and what are the loopholes which are present in the AWS cloud. So the first and the most you can say common you will be seeing is the access key leakage. So this is like it can be like easily compromised, because see in the source code if they find access key and that access key is having so much of permission, then in that case if that access key gets leaked, then attacker can use that key to do several actions on our infra. And if you go on and checking, like this is the most of time if any cloud breach happens is due to the access key leakage only. Now comes the second one, that is open S3 bucket. So now as we know, like every data which is like stored in the cloud is stored in the S3 bucket. So if by any chance the S3 bucket is exposed, so it can be like accessed by any attacker. Or let's suppose that the ACL, the access control list of the S3 bucket, or the policy which we attach to S3 bucket is like weak, or let's say open to all. We have given all the permission, get, list, port, delete. So in that case, anyone can compromise. Like, anyone can do ransom attacks. So this can be also a way. Now the third one is the attacking publicly exposed services. So if you see there are some services which are like exposed to like web, so we need to check it, like of course. So basically what happened, we can try to like enter into our infra using any EC2 instance if it is exposed, or we can try to do a lambda backdoor attack. So there are some like ways which we can attack exposed services which is on the web. Now the fourth one is the third party vendor which get compromised. So if let's say I am using any XYZ third party vendor and by any means it get compromised, then in that case what will happen, the data which I have been sharing with that particular vendor, the my data will be also leaked because of that breach. So in that case, because of that particular vendor, my data is also being breached. Okay. Now the fifth one is social engineering, because like, see, my ID and password is like I don't use for like for any code and all, so it won't be leaked. Like if we see in a practical life, but if we are like seeing a social engineering attack which is happening like nowadays in many companies, so phishing for AWS credential is like at a like not huge scale, but it's happening. So by any means, if this your credits gets leaked or like gets social engineered by anyone, then you're in trouble. So now after seeing this problem, like you must be thinking like, okay, there's the problem, then why we are like moving to cloud? And if yes, we are moving to cloud, then what kind of things which we can do so that this breach is not happening in the future? So we can start like following the trend. So the first one is open S3 bucket. So as I told, like S3 bucket is open. Okay, then it can be accessed by anyone, or the ACL. Okay, if the ACL is like allowing anyone from the net, from the worldwide, from the global web, can go and do a get listing or put or delete anything in the bucket, then it's a problem. Like we need to fix that. So first one is the block public access. Like from only from the AWS infra we can access the S3 bucket. Don't keep it open. So block public access. And also what you can do, like okay, sometimes what is happening that bucket is used for like opening any images in the application, it is linked like that. So in that case we can do a get listing, only one option on in the policy, that is get. The listing part, the put delete parts should not be given to anyone who is outside the infra. So that is the thing which we can do. Then S3 bucket leakage and breaches number will be coming to zero. Now the second one is the phishing for AWS credentials. So if we are seeing like this social engineering thing is happening, and sometimes very expert also get into that. So in that case, if you implement MFA for every IAM user, then in that case, what will happen if for any reason your creds get leaked, then also because of MFA, the attacker can't like go and log into your account because the MFA is even implemented, and for the MFA they need your code. Of course, that MFA thing can be also like we can do social engineering, but yes, at most of the instance, like you can see the attack scenario, we can think like okay, after getting the credential also the MFA is been implemented. So in that case, it is like hard for the attacker to go on and check the infra after getting the ID password of the IAM user. Now comes the SSO also. So sometimes what we do, we just link our AWS account with the SSO from the Geoth basically, for an example. So in that case, what happened? The cred part which we need for the AWS is now gone. So no AWS credential needed for login. We can just link our Gmail account or any other account with the AWS through SSO, and we can try to like we can just go on and log in without having any ID password. Now the third one is the third party vendor. So no third party vendor, we can't like say like okay, we won't go for third party vendor. We need third party vendor for some of the activities. So in that, what we can do basically, we can like go for the audit from the like on the vendor side also, like if they are implementing the best practice or not, the first thing. Now after that we can also go for like do not share the access keys, like because access key leakage is so much like happening. So access key should not be shared with them. And the third is the concept of least privilege. Means if we are sharing anything to them, then only thing like we need to in IAM policy is like the least privilege, like least thing which we can do. Like if they want the access of EC2 for a particular like task, only give them that particular access, so that if by any means it get compromised, their info has been like breach and all, then your access key has been leaked also, then also the hacker can like can't do so much of thing. because there are like least privileged roles are like policies have been attached in that. Now comes the attacking any export service. Okay, so now see, export service we can't like do anything like that, but if we see like any MNC which are having so much of assets which are on their web, so in that case what we can do, we can just have a attack surface tool, okay, a third party, or we can do a in-house also. So this ASM concept, if we go on, then nowadays we are seeing so much of ASM tools also come in the market. What's the need for the ASM? So see, for any like company, AppSec team, CloudSec team, or in general like any team, we need to know like what type of assets are like exposed on the web. Because if, for example, our admin panel has been leaked in the web, or any other panels which are only being used for the company purposes, then we need to monitor it properly. And so when I say keep a Hawkeye on public resources, so you can make a ASM. So ASM we can go on for that, and the strong AppSec. Now, just for example, you know about your asset, but the AppSec team should find the issue before any hacker does. So if you have these two things, then this exposed services which are on the web can be mitigated. Now the fifth one is access key leakage. So now access key leakage is like we are seeing like this is a most trending topic, and like for any data breach if you were seeing in the past, it will be due to access key leak only. So now, but there is no one like talking about what we can do. There are some like any steps which we can follow for like anything by which this access key leakage can be happening or not happening in our infra. So for this I have like made some case study like on the this AWS. So basically we'll be seeing the two case study for the like AWS infra. The first one is the expose AWS access and secret key, which is the most like you can see the problem which is in the infra. And after that we'll seeing one more case study after that. So now see, we can just go with like point by point. So the first one is the determine the access associated with the those key. So now see if by any means if our access key gets leaked. Okay. So after your access key is being leaked, you need to first determine the access. Means it means like what are the permission you have given to that expose key. Why we need to know? Because it will be like we need that basically for proper like what kind of action we can do. Like let's suppose that if any access key is having so much of like you can say access to the EC2 S3 bucket, then we need to immediately do some action. But if that key is only having some like some policy only, then we can like find out the way how we can do that. So now if we are going for the access key leakage and we are identifying the policies, then we need to see two things basically. Any exposed key has read or write access or not to any sensitive data, the PR data of the company. And if that keys have access to the S3 bucket, because if that like key has the access to public like S3 bucket which are open and all, in that case what will happen, they can get the data from it. And if that keys have the permission of read and write to any SPI data, then they can tamper the data and it will be breaching the integrity of the like the CI trials. So the first one is we need to determine the access with the leak key. Now after we have done that, we need to invalidate the credentials. So now see, if we go on and just delete the credential, then it's like maybe that credential has been used in the code. So just going on and like just telling okay, we need to just remove the credential is not a solution. So so what we can do, we can just like turn off, like there's an option to disable the access key. So in that case we can just do that, so that for example if anything happen in the like application or anything is like not working in the application, then we can again enable it just for any like for example the site goes down in that case. So we need to invalidate the credential, like what kind of like application is been using this, and if we just turn it off, then anything happening on the production or not. Now the third one is the invalidating any temporary credential issued with the expose key. So don't know you know or not, but the temporary like credits can be like we can generate the temporary credits from the access key of the AWS. So the attacker can of course can generate that so that they can access the infra. So we can like go on and check that, and we can also disable that thing. Okay, and since that trade which we has been created for the like after leaking of the access key, the temporary access key or the credits are like only active for like more like around 24 hours to 48 hours only. So in that time they can go on and find out the way how they can like attack on our web. So in that case we need to just disable that from the infra so that they can't use that. Now after that comes the pointer 4, that is restore the access with new credential. So now of course when you have like turn off the old credential, now we can't use that old credential, then you need to create a new one. So of course after like you can just create a new pair of access key and just go on like all the like the work which has been used by the previous key can be used. But now the problem is like what can we do, like the access key can get leaked again. So what we can do, we can just move on to the IAM roles. So instead of just going for the access key, we can put a role policy for an IAM user, and then we can use that. So in any case, it won't get like, of course, it can the IAM user can get breached, but most of the cases it's not possible for anyone to like get that particular IAM like role and all, and IAM user so that they can do like anything on our infra. So moving to the IAM role is the best option which we can do to avoid this expose access keys and secret keys. Okay, so now comes the compromised EC2 instances. So now see if we see the EC2 instances, so it is like exposed on the web. Okay, so now after like we know like this is like a most you can say important thing, like we need to have a proper inbound outbound rule so that any outside traffic is not entering or anything like that. And like before that, sorry, I think missed the fifth point. That is review your AWS account. So now after you have changed the credential, you have issued the credits for the new like new access key and all. You need to first go on and check all the S3 bucket first if anything is like happened. But of course, there is like after going on checking S3 bucket, you also don't know the old data and the new data. So you can check the Cloudtail logs. So it is very important that you have a proper logging and monitoring system enabled on your infra. So Cloudtail will help you to identify if any critical things have been happened. Like let's say if the attacker has done some S3 bucket policy change or has created any IAM user or has done anything. So you can go on and check with the Cloudtail logs and see what kind of action he has like done on your infra. Now or maybe like if you want to restore data, then you can also do a that thing also. These are the way, like if any exposed access or secret keys have like you have found, then what kind of action you need to take as a part of incident response plan of the AWS. Now moving ahead for the compromised EC2 instances. So the first one, like we know, like there's a one attack for EC2 instance, that is SSRF attack, which lead to the AWS EC2 like and leaks and all. So by any chance, let's say your this EC2 instance has been like compromised. So there is a tool known as AWS guard duty. So if we don't implement that, then it's like tough finding. Like we need to then go inside the EC2 instance, check the logs and all. So if you have guard duty enabled, then any IP coming outside the infra, they will be like sending you a alert. Okay, this like IP is trying to hit that particular EC2 or particular services or trying to do anything like that. So after we have got the alert, okay, this EC2 instance has been compromised, we need to first lock the instance down. So when I say lock the instance down, so we need to make like make sure that that EC2 instance is now isolate, means it can't like contact or go and like send data or receive data from the outside world. Now, why we are doing this? Because let's say the attacker has got the access, then we need to first protect our infra also. So a different like ACL policy will be made for that, and that EC2 instance which is having compromised will be assigned for that role. And now after that, we can just lock that instance so that no one can access that. But after locking it down, we need to make a IAM policy that only the forensic team will be going to access the EC2 instance for any of the like forensic purposes or anything like that. Now, after that, we need to take the EBS snapshot and do a memory dump. So basically, like EBS snapshot will help you to ensure that all the files in the server will be snapshotted. Means the data has been backup. Now after that we need to also do the memory dumping part. So when we are doing a this dumping part means all the memory which are present in the EC2 instances will be dumped. Now after that the main task is like to perform a forensic analysis. So why we need to do the forensic analysis? Because of course we need to find out from where the attack happened, and like how like what kind of thing which the attacker has done in the particular infra. So this is very important phase, and just for the sake like you want like this incident response and the forensic team to analyze very quickly, you need to have a proper logging monitoring. I was saying earlier also. So logging monitoring system can be like made for your particular infra. We can use CloudTrail for like all the logs, or and for the monitoring part we can just attach it with the CloudWatch alerts. So just for example, if anyone, let's say, is like trying to log in with any IAM user ID password, suppose that, and after doing 3 tries, he's like always putting wrong password, then we need to have a alert like why this is happening. Are like any genuine user trying to log in, or anyone is trying the password hidden trial? So in that case, the if you have a proper login monitoring system enabled, then you can easily find out the threat before anything happens in your infra. Okay, so like we can say for every action of like let's say I am policy change, S3 bucket put policy, S3 bucket delete policy, or we can say I am user which are trying to log in without MFA or anything like that, or let's say if from a particular user from a particular access is so much of like things are happening, okay, or any assume role happening for anything like that, you need to have a proper logging and monitoring system both enabled for the logs being like checked and all. So if we have proper logs and all, then we can like the forensic team which will be coming for like doing the R&D on that, it will be very helpful for them. Okay, so just because they have all the logs and present, and also they can find the IPs from where the attack happened, and they can do a like OSINT on the IP. They can do a full R&D, and they can find out like okay, from this particular like way they have got inside. So now after doing a proper forensic analysis, and because since we have a proper EBS snap for memory dump, so the forensic team will be easily doing that. And once the RC has been like made for that particular like incident which had happened because of this compromise issue instance, we can just then dump the instance. We can like turn off. We can delete that instance because it's of no use. So this can be done if any compromise issue instance is happening. So this was the two case study which like you need to know, because see these are the something which are happening nowadays on like the cloud. Okay, this the leakage of access key and the command EC2 instances. So these things you need to know like after have like any incident, like okay, you have made a proper like system, and you are like sure like okay, no data breach will be happening. The defense has been like properly implemented. But by any means if any incident happen, then you need to also know how you can go step by step. So that was only for like how you can defend the cloud infrastructure. So thank you so much. If you have any like you want to ask anything on the cloud sec, you can like contact me here on my email ID or on my LinkedIn. Shazan?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I am done. Do we
Um,
have any
so there are
question?
some questions in the YouTube chat. I will just read out
Uh,
for you.
okay.
AWS permissions slash asterisk, are they dangerous? So,
Yes, yes. So see, if we are using like asterisk one, then we are allowing everything in that policy. So it is like we can just go on like don't use that. If as I was telling the I am least privilege concept. So if any I am user of I'm making any I am policy, we need to try to give them the only thing only like the policy should be added like okay they need to access EC2 or SU bucket. Then in EC2 what kind of the permission they need, only give them that permission, don't give them all permission, because if we are giving them all permission then it is very dangerous for, like if any breach is happening, then in that case it will be like hard for any cloud like team to defend it.
got you, sir.
Hmm.
Um, just a moment, sir. Before
Hmm.
moving ahead, I we have just posted the quiz for today into the chat window. That will be open for the next 20 minutes. That is 6:57. The quiz will close. While we continue ahead with the question and answers, attendees can fill up the quiz form. Yeah. So moving ahead with the next question. What if there is a zero-day vulnerability like Log4j, and as we log every activity, the whole infrastructure can be affected? What could be done to cover these losses?
Okay, so see, like if we go for like log4j, so if by any means that is affecting a cloud infrastructure, so okay, so of course, if let's say the attacker can compromise our like AWS infra and get inside, then that thing like we can have a proper logging and all monitoring, like we can like we can make a rule in the like cloud trail, or we can use some tools, okay, for if we want to do that. But yes, by any means, if that particular log4j attack or any other vulnerability which is happening is a fault, like any flaw which we have made, let's say I've any exposed EC2 instance is been like in the in our infra, then that loss won't be like the AWS team will be giving. If anything like any loophole which is set by the AWS team, because they are like we have like in the concept of cloud, some service are managed by a customer and some service are managed by the AWS. So anything the customer is managing, so any leak happening due to that particular like the let's say EC2 instance, S3 bucket, Lambda, then in that case customer like have to pay the losses themselves. But by any means, let's say the service which is managed by AWS is being affected, then in that case AWS team will be paying the losses to us.
Okay, sir. So I have just shared 20 minutes timer for the reference for the attendees so that they can be aware of how much time is remaining for the quiz to close. Yeah. So, sir, moving ahead with the next question. What are the platform for practicing cloud security?
Okay, so uh, as per now, since like I was learning CloudSec, so basically there is no such like you can say platform for practicing that. But yes, if you are like going on and working in a company, then after seeing the problem and all, then in that case, what will happen? You can find the problem and then you can try to fix it. But yes, the blogs and all is are present on the like you can say the medium.com. There are some blogs present, or there are some courses also. But yes, for like want to implement things, want to practice CloudSec, then you need to like go on for any job where they are like having this the full cloud infra being made, and they want to like implement CloudSec. In that case only you can learn things. But yes, if you want to read the like the blogs and the papers, like then you can just search on the internet, you can find, like, there are so much of blogs present in the internet. So that thing you can do. But yes, for practicing, you need to have a cloud infra, which can be only given by a company. Like we can't make a like a self-made infra and go on testing, because it's very costly. So that's the thing.
Got you, sir. Next question we have is how to start bug bounty, and what are the first steps to be taken as bug bounty hunter?
Okay, so like if you want to start bug bounty, then the first thing which you need to know is like a basic overview of the application. Let's say you are doing the bug bounty for web or Android or iOS. It can be anything. But like if you ask about my experience, then at first I was like only doing bug bounty on web application only. So if you are trying to like go on for the web, as I have did, so in that you can first have a basic understanding of the web application and some framework, let's say JS, PHP, or HTML and all. Because see, you need to break the code. You need to inject something. So in that case, you need to have a basic fundamental knowledge, not that much coding required, but you need to at least understand the coding, the like the ways how like how this is being done. Now after learning the like the application part, you need to also learn some bash scripting to automate. So bash scripting is so much important, because sometimes what happens, there are some work which can be automated easily. So in that case, what we do, basically we automate these things, so that in bug bounty we need to be always first. So if we are implementing, we are using automation and also, it makes our work easier also. Now after learning these two things, you can start learning the attacks, how like all the flaws which are present in particular like Android application, web application, or you can say iOS application. So these are the the basic way like by which we can start the bug bounty. And the first step is like first learn the application structure, architecture. And let's say if it is being used like JS or PHP, then what's the code, like how the application is behaving for anything you are putting on it. If any string is being put, then the error has been thrown, then what type of error it's throwing and all. You need to check everything like that. So if you do like things like that, then okay, then you can be a very, very good bug bounty hunter in the future.
That's a great insight, sir. Moving on with the next question. Uh, what are the AWS command line tools which can be used to analyze the AWS vulnerabilities?
Okay, so see, if you want to go on for the command line tool, then the Amazon team is has given a very, very, very nice tool known as Inspector. So if you want to explore that, then you can have a like proper knowledge about it. So that Inspector tool will be scanning your full infra, and after that, it will be giving you all the flaws or any anything which is in your cloud infra.
Okay. Can you elaborate a bit more about the penetration testing tools in cloud?
Okay, so the pen testing tools in cloud. So see, basically, the cloud pen testing is like it's based on the attacks case only. Just for example, if any export service, like if we see the attack vector for the cloud, so generally we need to first find the attack vector. So as a pen testing we are doing for web, same we are doing for cloud. But the cloud one is like the attack vector are like less in number. So let's suppose that I want to do a pen testing cloud, the black box testing I'm talking about now. So in black box, what we can do, we need to find the leak threads. If any leak credentials on the source code in the GitLab, GitHub, or in after documenting in the Google, we are finding. Then it's an attack vector. By getting the credentials, I can easily log into the cloud infra. Now, same thing, the APIs for the S3 access control list. So like that, we need to find the entry point for the pen test. Now this is a black box, but sometimes if you are working for any company, then they will be like doing like, okay, for just example, their software engineer team, any one person account has been compromised. So what can the attacker can do by using that particular permission? That can be also a cloud pen testing scope, which can be known as gray box testing. So cloud pen testing is very different, but yes, we know this much, like okay, cloud pen test can be only done by the customers managed service. So anything which is managed by customer of the AWS, we can pen test that thing only, not anything more than that. If anything managed by like the AWS team itself, we can't test. They don't allow the customer to test that.
Okay. So you are suggesting that only black box and gray box testing is preferable in cloud environments.
No, see, it depend upon. I just gave an example of gray box. Basically, black box is the mostly like used and all. But yes, I just gave an example like okay, this gray box can be also done. Or sometimes if you're working for that particular organization, then they will be giving you full access, and they will say now go and breach. So it depends upon like it's the scope of the pen testing basically.
Got you, sir. It sparked a bit of curiosity in me. Can you just like you seems to have worked on both the operation teams as well as on the DevSecOps part. You have expertise of yours, and then application and cloud both it comes under your expertise. So can you tell us where you started from? Like, what was the first thing you aimed for, and then how you moved down the roadmap?
Okay, yes. So, like, the first thing which I just learned was the AppSec only, because at that time, now also CloudSec content is not that much on the internet. So the first thing which I was like learning was the AppSec only. In AppSec, I was mainly like learning the web part. Okay, so that also helped me in like hunting the bugs on some like Apple, Google also. So from that I also got Hall of Fame. So the first thing in AppSec was the web. Then after learning the web, I just moved to Android and iOS and the other application part. Now after learning the ways to attack, I also like managed to learn how I can mitigate that flaw. Because if you're working in an AppSec team, you need to like help this software team to also like help them how they can if any flaw has been found by the team, how they can mitigate that. So as a AppSec engineer, you need to work on both things. Also on the attacking part, you need to learn more and more attacks, and then how we can mitigate that. Now after doing this, I was like thinking like now I need to move to the cloud also. So I first like joined the company as a DevOps engineer. So in that I got to learn the cloud operation part also and the cloud sec part also. So step by step, if we see like after doing the AppSec, you can easily like learn cloud sec. There are not that much difference. Yes, the cloud sec content are not that much like on the internet, but yes, if you are working for a company, you have got a problem statement, then you can easily find out the way. So for learning cloud sec, the best thing is you can join a company as an AppSec engineer or as a DevOps engineer, and then you can start like exploring the cloud from that like your job.
Got you, sir. Uh, just a moment. Actually, I was so concentrating hearing you throughout the journey that I forgot to read the questions next.
Hmm.
Um, So there is a question asking like, do you prefer any certifications to be done on the cloud security? And as of now, what's the best thing? Like you said that you started with application AppSec, especially the web part. So as of now, what would be the best starting point for the career?
Okay.
You would say?
So for the best cert, there is a cert known as CCSP. So that cert is the best cert we can say in cloud sec. But yes, at last, I don't have any cert for now for cloud sec, and we don't need also, because see, if you know how to implement things, you have experience on the cloud sec posture management and all, you don't need that. But yes, if you want to go on, then the first and the best one is the CCSP. There are many other also available for the Azure, for the AWS, for the Google Cloud, but CCSP is for the overall thing. So we can do that. Okay. And for like starting the career, we can start with AppSec and CloudSec anything, because see now CloudSec is also booming. There is some need. But yes, the CloudSec entry level job is not that much, like there is not that much opening. So in that case, the AppSec is, I think, the best thing which we can go and learn and start, because see, the content is easily like you can get on the internet, on the market, paid also, free also. We can learn things and go on and apply for a job, and then we can explore CloudSec also. So we can start with AppSec. The web part, why I was telling web part, because see, there is so much of R&D is done. The papers have been like on the internet. So web is more like, we can say, easy to learn in compared to Android, iOS, or in compared to CloudSec. So we can start with the AppSec only, not CloudSec.
Got you, sir. There is a question asking from where it is better to do CEH, from the EC Council or from the Red Team Academy. You being a
Okay,
Snack Red Team member, I believe that you would be the perfect person to talk about it.
okay. So I have also done the CH part in my college. So CH is like, if we go on for the checking or like the history, so CH is from the EC Council brand name only. So if we want to do any go for any examination, so always go from the original vendor. Okay, maybe the second one which you are telling, the Red Team Academy, can have the best training for CH, but at the end of the day, because the EC Council is the one who is handling the CH tag and all, so giving exam from the EC Council will add to your resume compared to Red Team. Maybe in Red Team Academy you can learn the practical aspects and all, but at the end of the day, we know like CH by EC Council is famous, so always go for that. Okay, means maybe the learning can be not that much, but yes, the output, because the CH by EC Council brand name is it's a brand name. So if you're putting that in your resume, then the company will be seeing that and they will be attracted by your resume. So we can go for CH by EC Council.
I hope that answers his query. Um, that brings us to the end of the question and answer session, sir. Thanks a lot for your valuable time and your insight from the industry aspect, as well as what is the standards and what are the things that is happening inside this industry. It was a really insightful session. Um, Thanks a lot for your time and sharing your experience with us. Thank you once again, sir. So with this, I will just end the meeting over here. Uh, the forms will be closing by the next 5 minutes. So please be sure to fill the forms to get your attendance for all the attendees. Thank you, sir.